Hey family, welcome. I'm Dr. Carla and
I'm Dr. EP.
we're your co-host of the Unstoppable Solutions podcast. We're committed to sharing knowledge and strategies to empower you to be unstoppable. If you desire to lose weight, conquer emotional eating, as well as live a healthy lifestyle, Ruth Frechman, registered dietitian and weight loss expert, is here to help. Join us for part 2 as Ruth Frechman continues to share her unstoppable solutions for losing weight and lifestyle change. This is something I kind of want to know personally, and I know other people want to know. What are your fasting recommendations? How does that come into play?
Fasting?
Fasting, like intermittent fasting, or is that something that you recommend, or how does that play into this process?
Fasting has been around for thousands of years. People
That's
have been
right.
practicing different types, 30 days, one day, whatever. I'm not a big fan of fasting to lose weight. For me, what that I see with my clients, it backfires. They don't eat all day long, and then by dinner time, they're starving. And then once they do eat, they can't stop themselves. So I don't really find it effective for losing weight. For me, what I recommend is small, frequent meals to keep those blood sugar levels stable so that you don't get so hungry that when it is time to eat, you eat too much. And then after you eat too much, there's no going back. So I'm not, if it works for you, that's good. If you can control it so that when you do eat, you're not overeating, that's fine.
Yes, yes. Well, thanks for sharing that. Growing up, I had a sugar addiction. I loved to drink Kool-Aid, eat cookies, cakes, and candy.
Ooh.
But as I got older, I learned that all of the pasta that I was eating, the breads, the rice, the potatoes, that when they actually would break down to sugar in my body. I didn't realize that. But how do you help people stop food addictions?
Food addictions is a tough one. Is it really a food addiction or is it just a very strong habit? You like it, so you eat it.
Right.
It's a habit. So I recommend, well, people say, well, I recommend moderation, but for a
Okay.
lot of people, it's all or nothing. And you just
Yeah.
have to think of your health. There's room for things like sugar beverages, but in moderation. Like I said before, you really want to focus on the healthy stuff first. And
Yes.
then if you are hungry, then you can have extra calories with whatever you want. But it's mostly a habit. You can break it. If you give it up for a while, then you're not even going to want it anymore. I've had lots of clients, they gave it up, and after like a month or so, then if they try, go, oh, that's so sweet, ew. So
I would do that.
your
I changed
tastes do
that.
change. You just have to bite the bullet and what are your goals? Do you want a little bit or are you out of control once you do start eating? If you can't control it, then it's better just to eliminate it. And then after a while, you get used to it.
That's
There are
true.
some people that they just crave and it takes over. Then, there's drugs for binge eating that are kind of helpful for people. It just depends on the severity and the degree of your addiction.
Oh. Well, I do have it. I do exactly what you said. I avoid it at all costs. Your diet plan is very user-friendly. It is laid out over 30 days, covering every aspect of food, nutrition, exercise, obstacles, and challenges that a person can face. How much weight can a person typically lose following this healthy approach in 30 days?
That's a
Give
loaded
me a
question.
range. Just give me a range. Give me a
Yeah,
range.
yeah. Well, actually, it really boils down to how much you weigh. So if you're in the 300s, you could lose, if you're really making the effort, you're really cutting back and you're increasing your physical activity, you could lose 3 pounds a week. If you're in the 200s, you could lose 2 pounds a week. If you're in the 100s, it's slower. It's all about changing your habits into eating smaller portions. If you ate 100 calories less every day for a whole year, you'd lose 10 pounds. If you ate 200 calories less a day for a whole year, you'd lose 20 pounds. But that's, how it's pretty difficult to calculate calories perfectly. If you're really not losing weight and you don't know why, use the scale. Just like you have to test your fingers if you have diabetes to test your blood sugar. For me, the tool to losing weight is the scale. Basically, if you see the numbers going down, you're eating less and you're losing weight. If you see the number going up, you're eating too much. And if you see the scale staying the same, then you need to make some changes. And for people, they try and try, but when it boils down to it, they find that they're not being consistent. They may have good days and bad days, or they'll do really great during the week, and then they'll go out for a couple nights on the weekend, and then the week is a wash, and they have to start over again. So really, the scale is the tool, and it's not a race; it's a journey.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't matter on the number, as long as you're making progress. For a lot of my clients over the holidays, the goal is just to maintain, because obviously there's going to be a lot of temptations, parties, lack of physical activity, you're so busy. If you can maintain over the holidays, that's a win. So I don't really pay too much attention to the number. I've had clients that in 1 year, they've lost 100 pounds, and then they'll go 6 months without losing anything. That's okay. Because they're adjusting to eating way less than they used to when they weighed 100 pounds more. So as long as you're making progress, and once you do lose the weight, you want to keep an eye on the scale so that it doesn't come back. I don't like yo-yo dieting. This is a lifestyle. The healthy changes you make are really permanent. This is what you want to do forever.
I really appreciate what you said about using the scale as a tool, because it's a visual, and sometimes when people see that visual, it makes them either move back, step forward, or just modify. So that's a great visual that you shared with us. And also stating that losing weight is an individual situation. And if the person commit to the program, whether they weigh 100 pounds or 10 pounds, they will get some results. So that's the bottom line. Because everybody's metabolism is very different. I want to ask, if we follow the 80-20 rule, 80% food and 20% exercise, what if a person is physically unable to move? How would you get them to typically lose some weight?
Yeah, that happens a lot. People have bad knees and bad hips and they can't exercise. Then the focus is going to be on just eating less. One thing I did want to circle back and mention one thing about the scale. People hate the scale.
I know. I love it.
But if that's the case for you, take the emotion out of the scale. Do they hate the scale, or are they mad at themselves, maybe for not being able to control how much they're eating? You just want to. The scale is an objective tool to help you, and that's really been one of the main things that have helped people that tell me, "Oh, I hated the scale," and now I find out that it's what's helped me the most.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Ruth, I need to tell a secret about myself. I actually will put a scale in my suitcase and carry it with me when I travel.
I have clients that do that. Mm-hmm.
That's smart. Especially if you go on a cruise.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
Dangerous.
I love that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, so the plan is for 30 days and people can lose weight. What are some steps that they can take for maintaining those results after the 30 days?
Yeah, so I'll quickly go over my 4 steps. Step number 1 is eating healthy. We talked about that. Step number 2 is physical activity. We talked about that. Step number 3 is the scale. We talked about that. And step number 4 is listening to your hunger cues. And this is pretty much where people mess up because they're eating for their emotions. I would say, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I'd say about 80 to 90% of my clients eat because of stress. Mostly, eat because of stress, but also they get angry. It's soothing. They eat to procrastinate, they eat to escape. There's many reasons why people eat when they're not hungry. But the rule is, and this is really what you want to train yourself to do, is to eat when you are hungry but you stop eating when you feel just right. You could finish the plate, but you don't. Someone asks you if you want seconds, but you say no, no, thank you. You don't want to eat until you feel full or stuffed, because if you do, especially when you get older, you will gain weight. You can get away with it when you're younger, but when you're older, if you eat until you feel full or stuffed, right then and there, you're gaining weight. So you eat when you're hungry, you stop when you feel dissatisfied, and you never eat if you're not hungry. So that's really important for maintaining. Your stomach is like a big balloon. It's very stretchy. And if you eat smaller portions, you're going to shrink that down. You shrink down your stomach so that you're not going to be able to eat as much. So that's why I recommend the small portions. I don't like the cheat days. Well, they'll go out for dinner and eat this giant meal. That's going to keep your stomach really big. You want to keep going with those smaller portions. So again, for maintaining your weight and losing weight, listen to your hunger cues. Don't eat if you're not hungry, even if you're stressed. Go for a walk, journal, do whatever you can. Don't eat when you're not hungry, and keep an eye on the scale. A lot of my clients go in for bariatric surgery, and a lot of them put the weight back on, and I ask them, are you taking your vitamins? No, you have to take the vitamins. And the other thing is that they stop weighing themselves. Okay, so set a limit. If you gain 10 pounds, bam, that's it. Get back on track. But a lot of these people, they'll put on 50 pounds, 75 pounds. What was happening during that time? That's why I feel the scale is kind of important for you to help maintain your weight.
Absolutely.
Ruth, you have another book that I'm very impressed with, the Easy Arthritis Diet Cookbook. Tell us how diet impacts arthritis. Why did you write this book?
Well, I was asked to from a publisher, but
Yes.
it goes along with my philosophy. Arthritis is a disease of inflammation, and so really the book focuses on whole foods, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, fish, lean sources of protein, dairy. It's all just, it's really not really, it's for arthritis, but it's really for anyone who wants to eat healthy. And when you have arthritis, it's hard, your hands may hurt, it may be difficult to stand. So most of the recipes are 5 ingredients or less, and most of them take 30 minutes or less. So that's why it's quick and easy and healthy. And basically it's low in calories too. So it helps reduce inflammation for your arthritis, but really it's helpful for anyone to reduce your risk of heart disease and cancer.
I use it for that. I love the fact that the book has the nutrients that are outlined in there. I thought you did a fantastic job of putting that in there, seeing the amount of potassium in foods and so forth. So that's just a great, great book.
Thank you.
Ruth, you are 40 years encyclopedia of knowledge. I thought I knew a lot about eating healthy and fitness, but you're letting me know that there's a lot more I need to learn.
Well, a lot of my clients, they'll ask me, or I'll be on the, different events, and they'll ask me different questions. I go, every question that you've asked me is in my book. It's a very comprehensive book. There's even how many olives in a quart of olive oil. It's a little quiz. I throw in little tips here and there to keep you interested.
Good answer. Can you share with us your online course, Fresh Start Weight Loss, a 5-module online course, which is on YouTube?
Mm-hmm.
Can you share with us?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did that during the pandemic. I had lots of extra time.
Perfect.
But it's my book is comprehensive, but the course gets more into the emotions. And there's actually 50 worksheets. You learn by doing. And because I'm helping myself, and that by helping myself, then I put it into handouts and courses to help other people. But there's 50 handouts. There's even a guided meditation. There's a rejuvenating stretch video. There's vegetable recipes. There's a 7-day meal plan with more recipes. There's even a meal planning and prep guide. It's very comprehensive for people who really, really are serious about losing weight and really want to make these changes. So it's on my YouTube. You can find it you can access it from my YouTube channel, which is Ruth Frechman, and then go to the Fresh Start Weight Loss video, and then there's a link that you can get it there.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, Ruth. I haven't asked you about this, but I know that there's some parents out there, there's I have kids. How do you get kids to eat healthy with all the fast food restaurants out there and junk food? How do you get them to eat healthy, and how do you get the parents on board with the process?
Well, it starts with the parents. I see a lot of kids for excess weight. I was just telling someone the other night, there was some TV show with about ice cream on there, and I think it was, pints of ice cream. So the mom, the dad, and the son while they're watching TV every night, they'd have a pint of this really high caloric ice cream. So the kids learn from the parents, and
That's
the
right.
kids eat what the parents give them.
Mhm.
So the parents really have to want to provide healthy food for the family. And it's young, old, male or female, it's the same. Divide your plate into quarters: protein, carbs, and fruits and vegetables. It can be easy when when you make the effort, grabbing an apple, grabbing a banana. It can be easy to grab fruit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
It just takes a little planning.
true. Very.
Eating out can be very expensive, and you can just make a sandwich and a fruit. I just had a lady this week, and she didn't know what to eat. A peanut butter sandwich and an orange. Super healthy, super inexpensive, grab and go on the way.
You
And you're
did.
saving money.
Ruth, give us your best tip for living a healthy lifestyle.
Sure. And it's something that I do. It's like, what do you want to do? So what are you going to start doing, and when are you going to stop doing? So what are you going to start doing? Maybe you're going to start eating more vegetables. What are you going to stop doing? Maybe you're going to stop eating so many sweets. Keep it very simple. Change is hard to do. You want it one small step at a time, and start with something simple.
Awesome.
Yes, thank you for that profound tip. Thank you for being here today, Ruth. And there you have it. If someone wants to contact you or connect with you to learn about your weight loss services and any of your other products, how can they connect with you?
I guess email is easy, ruth@ruthfrechman.com,
Okay.
or my
Great.
website, ruthfrechman.com. You can contact me there.
Oh,
I'll
great,
Google
great.
you.
Well, Dr. EP and I, we thank you, Ruth, for being here. And to our community, we thank you as well. Be sure to join us next week for another exciting episode filled with unstoppable tips and strategies that will help you live your best life with unstoppable solutions.